I'd like to start off by praising God and also giving a shout out to our sponsors. We would first like to thank the Ramirez family for being our biggest sponsor and helping us continue to give us the information, motivation, education that we need in our community. Next, we would like to thank SoCal Tattoo out of Tarzana, California. SoCal Tattoos, where all your tattoo needs will be met. Go out there and check them out and let them know AC sent you. And last but definitely not least, Rockstar Plumbing Company out of Chatsworth, California. You can reach them at 818-814-3044 for all your plumbing needs. And now, without further ado, let the show begin. All right, everybody, you guys know what it is. It's the one and the only, the American Cholo podcast, broadcasting live and direct to you from North Hollywood, California. My name is Gail, and I am the American Cholo. Mr. Chris, give me some of that intro beat, man. So it is 6:15 on, what is it, June 16th, huh, Chris? Yes, sir. A lot of things going on in the world. We got, obviously, the ICE raids, the ICE protests, the ICE riots. We've got Iran, Israel. We still got Russia, Ukraine. And now we've got the bigger one. We got Defiant. Brandon over here. He's a podcaster and a conservative commentator. What's going on, my man? How you doing?
I am good.
Okay.
I am great.
Get you in the mic.
Oh, you need okay? Because usually I'm pretty loud, so
he'll take care of that. Don't you worry about that. We got a real engineer over here.
Right.
I got you. Yeah,
right,
no problem.
Right.
First of all, a lot of people may not know this, bro. That me and you've been going back and forth for a year and a half, maybe.
Yeah, we've been talking behind the scenes on social media,
right? As far as coming in, and you sent me a thing of some guy getting all racist with you or something, and I was like, yeah, it happens, bro. It happens, and that's when I said, you know what? Why don't you just go ahead and come on in, bro, so we can finally have that conversation and see where you stand on certain things, where I stand, and maybe also kind of relate to where our people stand on certain things, right? Right. So, first of all, let's get a little bit of a background on you. If you can, come here and let the audience know, even myself, a little background of who you are, what made you the person you are today.
Yeah. Basic childhood, growing up in Los Angeles County, live with my mom, grew up, went to school. During my high school years, got a little bit involved in gang stuff. But I also play sports.
Okay.
So sports kind of lets you can be from the hood, but you play sports, so you kind of got to pass. You don't have to, get too crazy, right? So then just play sports, played a little bit of ball, junior college ball. And then I had a daughter, married my daughter's mom, and just been doing like the family thing, working. And when I was 27 years old, I discovered Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
That actually opened my eyes to a lot of things because it gave me the ability to travel the world.
I've seen that.
So you win, you get money. You get money, people want you to come to their country to fight in their tournaments. So I've been pretty much all around the world.
Now, how long have you been doing the Jiu-Jitsu thing for now?
Man, since I was 27, that's 12 years.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah.
Now you a black belt in that thing already, or
yeah, I'm a black belt.
How long did it take you to become a black belt in jiu-jitsu?
It took me 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what countries have you gone out there and competed?
Man, everywhere. I've been to Dubai. That's the UAE. I've been to the UK, Portugal,
wow,
Kenya, Spain.
You any good, fool?
Am I any good? You wouldn't travel if you weren't any good.
I don't know.
Listen, they're taking average people and no, yeah, definitely. World champion.
Okay.
Pan American champion twice.
Shit.
American national champion twice. All the divisions, open weight. I'm definitely a winner, and in the Valley is jiu-jitsu everywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
So I can't just say that somebody jiu-jitsu. You make false claims, people call you out.
That's right. People come out.
They call you out.
Now, people like, we already had one comment up there saying, damn, Gil, I can't believe you brought this guy. He talks about Mexicans. And people feel that you have a certain, like a certain negative take on, is it Latinos in general? Is it on the protests? Talk to me about what your take is on the protests and what's going on right now, specifically in Los Angeles.
Right. I don't have a negative opinion of Hispanic or Latino
Right.
people. I have a negative opinion of criminals.
Okay.
Anyone who does crime, especially people past the age of like 25 years old. Come on now. And if you have a negative association with criminality, right?
Right.
If someone walks in this room and says, hey, something smells like poop. If I know I don't smell like poop, there's no reason for me to be offended. I'm gonna be looking around like, who's smelling like poop?
It smells like shit. Right.
So there's this thing where I feel like a lot of minority communities, and I would say African Americans lead the way, where we have bought into this negative identity, this negative idea surrounding our identity, to where if someone highlights any group that's operating in a negative way, if there's one of us included in that group, somehow that is a reflection of the entire race or cult ethnicity.
Right.
And I think that's what Hispanic people are doing right now.
Well, I would say I think you're saying maybe like playing the victim role. Is that what you're thinking? Like, because that's said a lot about the black community as well. Like, I mean, playing the victim role.
We play the victim better than anybody. We gold medal victim Olympics.
But what I see is it's kind of ironic that you're saying this because one of the podcasts, I don't know if you're a regular host on or you just go there every once in a while. I believe it's The Viral Way. It seems like I think especially one guy there, his mission when he talks about Hispanics is to separate from the black community, because it seems like everything that comes out, like he tagged one of my things where it was from 5 years ago, and we were talking about it was during the BLM, protest riots, and we were talking about reparations.
Right.
And all I said was I was against him,
Right.
And his post was, look at these racists, da 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 da. And then I had a bunch of people come at me and I'm like, bro, first of all, this was 5 years ago. Second of all, I have a right to my opinion. I said, what
I'm against reparations.
Well,
I mean,
then you better talk to your boys, because they're over there saying that when we say, that's the thing, when we say it, it's racist. When you say it to them, that'll be a great conversation for you guys to have next time you go over there.
No, they're going to say you're Uncle Ruckus. You're racist against your own race. That's what they're going to say. They call me literally Uncle Ruckus. And we might have different reasons why we're against reparations, right? Or why we don't think why we don't think anybody should be just given money due to the color of their skin, right? But what people do is they attempt to oversimplify things as a way of helping them understand it, right?
Okay.
It's called cognitive bias. They know so little about you that they think they understand you completely.
Right.
You're a complicated guy. You're more than just what culture you come from.
Exactly.
You have your opinions, but a lot of people try to pigeonhole you and define you based on your ethnicity.
Yeah, I had what's his name? He just did Vlad TV. He's
Black 100?
No. He does a lot of community work and gang talking and defusing stuff. I had him at my home, and he brought a whole list of questions to ask me. That was one of them, and I told him this. I said, let me ask you this: are you for giving the quote unquote stolen land of Mexico back to Mexico? And he was like, oh, well, no. I said, does that make you a racist? He's like, well, no. I said, well, there you go. That's the thing. It's the same thing with this way. Like me, I'm not for giving illegal immigrants free healthcare, because there's a bunch of legal immigrants here that can't afford to get healthcare. So that doesn't make me a racist against my own people. And I think a lot of time especially when you're young, I don't know how old those guys are from the viral.
Same age as me.
Well, maybe they're just young-minded, bro. Or maybe and they say all the time that it's us throwing it at them, because it seems like where they grew up, and I don't know if that's where you grew up as well, in Long Beach,
yeah,
there's a lot of racial tension between gangs. That's gang banging, bro.
I couldn't call them young-minded, because they have families, they take care of their families. I would say that the perspective from which they're looking at the situation is different, right? Not necessarily wrong, not necessarily right, but just different. And that's why podcasts in situations like this are amazing, because you get to.
Well, if you're adult enough, like you and I right now, because there's some people that would get upset. They'd be like, "Oh, why you bring this?" Like, no, homie, we're sitting here like civil men having a conversation, and regardless of what we may agree or not agree on after this podcast. Hey, man, shake hands. Thanks for the conversation. And we keep moving and we learn whatever we can learn from one another.
And what's so funny is, even if you are the hardest thug on earth, if you go to LA County Jail or the pen, you might have some riots. You might have some fighting. But overall, you're going to operate in there civilly with people you might not like.
They're going to force you to operate civilly. Yeah,
right?
They're going to force you to operate civilly. And that's what it shows that eventually you got to be civil. They also showed, and I'm just getting this before I forget, they also showed another, all of a sudden they started popping up my feed after they put the thing on me, right? They showed I think it was a Mexican guy or a Chicano guy from somewhere, and he was talking about Mexico and saying, oh, you know what, they're the biggest racists, la la la, and there they go using it. See, you see they're racist.
Right.
And I'm thinking, but I'm not gonna fire back. I'm thinking, bro, I can pull up a Charleston White clip all day, every day, brother. And that's a brother saying you killing each other, you killing
100%.
kids, you're doing all this stuff, but you want to sit here and get one person and then say he represents all of us? No, it doesn't work that way.
The thing is, I feel like you're entitled to your opinion, but when you enter into the realm of like potting or where you're disseminating information, you call yourself teaching people, right?
Right.
You have to be willing to learn as well.
Yes.
So like, is there someone who represents the opposite side of this, the opinion, who is able to argue with you and you're willing to accept their argument, whether you agree or disagree? Like, one of the biggest things I used to always talk about on the Viral Way. Hey, you guys can't just be sitting up here with three dudes who agree with each other on everything.
Facts, bro.
And that's where I come in.
Facts.
Because I'm the pushback. Not because I'm being devil's advocate, but because I really don't agree with you guys on this.
Okay.
That's just the way it is.
So that makes a lot of sense. But how did you, and I could pull up receipts, bro, but I'm not going to, man. How did you end up a no jumper, bro? Because you're one of the many that have called them race baiting. And I know between you and I, in our conversations years back, you're like, yeah, they're a bunch of race baiters that want to make issues happen. And there's a few other guys over there that talk all kind of crap. And you guys go back there. Are you guys selling your soul, or why are you going back there when you know the kind of platform that is?
You know, the one thing, if you're not inside of something, you will never truly understand exactly what's going on.
No Diddy.
Right. Pause. But you know, what was crazy was I ended up being invited up to No Jumper by Flacco.
Okay.
And when I got there, you know, I had the opportunity to talk to Adam, and I just was like, dude, I don't like the way you're representing like black men up here.
Okay.
Faux extras and all them dudes are not, to me, an accurate representation of the totality of like black males in anywhere, right? And dude was like, man, honestly, man, I've been trying to pivot towards more positivity. I've been hearing the criticism, and he was just like, you want to come up here and like represent it? Like, don't talk about it, be about it.
Right.
So I was like, I couldn't just sit back and be like, nah, man, I'm busy, you know, like this thing. So if you're going to complain, be ready for the moment someone calls you up. You know, it's like somebody armchair quarterbacking.
Right.
If we throw you in the pocket, what you gonna do?
I got you.
And so I was like, you know what? One thing I hate is hypocrisy. I am not a hypocrisy. Number one characteristic, most important characteristic of leadership, you are a foreman, construction, you are a leader. Never ask a man to do something you're not willing to do.
Absolutely.
If I ask this man to carry 10 bags of concrete from here to here, I'm asking him because I've done it. And if he weren't here, I'd do it myself.
Facts.
That's me.
But do you think that platform gives like anything positive back, especially because to me it's mostly an African-American platform? Yeah, you get some essays here and there over there, but it's mostly a black platform. That shout out to Adam, bro, but that's the white devil, bro.
Stop.
Right? That's the white devil, bro. Come on. That fool is a pimp, homie. Let's keep it 100. He's a pimp. Is he not a pimp?
I don't think so.
You don't think he's a pimp?
I don't think so, because Adam gives you a platform to be you. And if being you is something that's appealing to the audience, he continues to give you that platform. If being you is something that's not appealing to the audience, you gotta go.
Does he bring conflict or does he bring resolution?
I think Adam does everything he needs to do to keep you from killing each other, but he is, you know, he's a little bit messy. But that's not unlike people we know.
Rico isn't just messy, bro. Rico's a federal fucking case, bro.
Man, Adam is giving you the cheese may, right? He's gossiping. If you want to get up there and indict yourself, self-incriminate because you want to look hard or gangster, that's on you, bro.
Tell me the truth here. If Adam was a black man, do you think he wouldn't have got socked up by now?
Depending on what black man he is.
No, I'm just saying. The black man, the same way he acts right now as a white man. If Adam was a black man acting the way he is, would he have not got beat up by now?
No, because Adam makes it very clear he's going to call the cops for you. Like, if you're black and you're like, I'm snitching, look at Flacco. He hasn't got snitched up, and he's like the heir apparent to Adam.
Yeah.
But if you make it clear that you're going to get law enforcement involved, ain't nobody going to touch you.
So, damn, the game's changed that much, huh?
Man, look.
The game's changed that much, huh?
House Negroes, that ain't changed that much.
Well, no, but I think back in the days, they're like, no, you're not even saying that. Back then, like, yeah, this was, he's saying stuff, he's doing stuff that if he was to me personally, I think if he was a brother, yeah, somebody would have pressed up on him already. Like, hey, fool, what are you trying to start beef with these Chris? What are you trying to? Because this fool, if you and I had beef right now and he could get me on, oh, come on, Gil, come over here and talk shit about this guy. And the next day, have you come on and he's pumping it up, bro.
But I've never seen Adam tell someone, talk trash about this person, or what do you think about this person saying this?
No, he's always said that. Before, that was his main thing. So what's your beef with so-and-so? But he says it so nonchalantly that people fall for the trap and they keep going.
Hey, so does Diane Sawyer, Barbara Walters, Oprah Winfrey, messy as hell. I look at Adam more like an Oprah.
All right.
He just gonna ask the question that he's like a Gayle King. Why you gotta ask that, Gayle? You know what I'm saying? Like, you being messy when you ask that question. That's as far as I've seen Adam take it, and people's response to it is crazy.
But Adam called you a liar the other day, bro. He called you a liar because you were speaking about how the raid started in Paramount, and you go ahead, say what you said at the podcast. Then
I said that the raids were they were actually like criminal raids,
right?
And people mistook it for an ICE raid, and then they started tripping.
But there has been many ICE raids in Los Angeles, and listen, I voted for Trompito myself, bro. Right. So it's not like I didn't, but I'm one of those that will say, but I didn't vote for that. Some people don't want to take that, but to me, it's like this. I forgot who that young lady who was murdered and killed.
Lacey Peterson. No, not Lacey Peterson. Lincoln Riley.
Lincoln Riley, right?
Yeah.
So to me, anybody who says Lacey Peterson, but it sounds kind of the same. Lincoln Riley, right? She was murdered by an illegal immigrant who raped her and did all kind of horrible stuff to her. So then if somebody tells me, well, that's what you voted for, then I can turn around and say, okay, well, then you voted for that, right? If you voted for Biden. But no, we didn't vote for that, bro, either one.
But 9 times out of 10, the people you're talking to don't even know that ever happened.
This is true.
You got a lot of people who are just totally uninformed. I can't even say misinformed, because misinformed, at least you're getting some information. They're totally uninformed, arguing from emotion.
Yes.
Not looking at the facts. And there was tons of ICE raids. But if you really want to know, that stuff downtown LA, that stuff was started because they got those businesses down there snitching on each other. Oh, he got a bunch of immigrants working there. He haven't paid taxes. It's really just some tit for tat because it's capitalism. They're trying to get that money.
Well, some, but I've seen some also as well, and I'm sure you have. They're just running up on the guy selling flowers in the corner, running up on the lady selling fruit in the corner. Like, I'm like, wait a minute, dude. These aren't criminals.
Right.
When the Trump administration was running for the presidency, they all were saying we're going for the high tier criminals. We're going for the people who have murdered, raped, are out of prison, shouldn't be in this country. And somewhere along the lines got blurred, and now everybody who came in here illegally all of a sudden is in the same level of criminality. What do you think about that?
I like where you said not the same level of criminality, yet still criminals, right? Now, I'm not coming down on the lady who's selling flowers on the side of the freeway, okay? I bought the flowers just like everybody else. What I'm saying is there are casualties. There are people who get caught in the crossfire, right? We're looking for the hardcore criminals, but you got arrested. What do the cops do? The cops look for anybody they can get, bro. They don't care if you only did this or you're not doing this. Once they get the orders, they're like a hound dog.
Yeah, but they're not going after. Okay, first of all, there's levels to criminality, but they're not criminals. Coming into the United States, and crossing illegally is a misdemeanor.
Right.
So calling them criminals is like calling you a criminal if you run a red light. No, you did an infraction. It's still an infraction. It's a misdemeanor, bro.
An infraction is not a misdemeanor.
Okay, so let's say you went in stole some chips out of 7-Eleven.
When I was arrested for having a gun, that was a misdemeanor.
Yeah, but you got a strap, bro. Come on.
It's still a misdemeanor.
Do you
That ain't running a red light.
do you think that should have a life sentence to it? And when I say life sentence, I mean people who have been here 10, 20 years. I know many of these people came here illegally. That's all they did. And now all of a sudden they got to get shipped out to another country. That's not.
You said another country like they never been there. That's their country.
If you haven't been there in 20 years, bro, and you were a kid out here, I came here when I was 6, almost 7 years old. They tried to deport me when I was like 21 or 20 when I was coming out of jail, right? I wouldn't have known nothing about that world.
Right.
And there's kids that were born here. I mean, were born, let's say, in Mexico, Central America, came here at 4 years old and came with their parents. And some of them, I've known some guys who they didn't even know they were illegal, bro, until they actually started going to jail. Like, dude, I thought I was legal all this time.
Right.
I mean, to them, that's like a life sentence of going to a country that you just never been from.
Yeah, and listen, when you vote for the people who are going to represent your situation,
Right.
And the nuances. Latinos been voting Democrat for how long?
Ever.
And guess what? Democrat ain't sort that out for you.
Facts.
So
bro.
don't get mad when the Republican get in and he's been elected to basically put belt to ass with deportations. And like, I got caught in the crossfire. You need to go talk to Kamala Harris about that. You need to go talk to Bill Clinton. You need to go talk to all these people you've been supporting politically because they've been using the immigration situation as a political football.
This is true.
We can run on this. So if we fix it, we can't run on it. What happened to Obama? He was talking all that crap about amnesty. When Hillary Clinton was running for president, she barely even mentioned it. So at some point you have to say, like, the onus is on your community. If they want you here, they need to make a decision that can keep you here. But you let it get to this point with Trump. On top of that, the Democrats had the ball last term. What did they do? They did something that exacerbated the situation. They basically let allegedly 20 million immigrants in here that were criminals.
Yeah.
So now to get them out, we got to go and, put belt to ass, and God-fearing, law-abiding Latino immigrants are getting caught in the crossfire.
Yeah, for sure. And
you guys' problem is with Democrats.
Listen, I agree with you on a good chunk of what you just said. And I even posted that, and people were like, why you posted this, Trump? I said, because you guys got to understand that this wasn't made overnight. This wasn't a Trump situation. This is something that's been happening since the 90s. And they promised, and they never deliver.
Always.
And I'm talking about the Democratic Party.
Always.
But I also believe, and I think you're a smart man. You know what he was saying. And when he was coming and running for office, he was plain saying, I'm going to go after these high-level criminals. He was. And what do you think changed? You think it's just he got into his own echo chamber like everybody else and just started hearing his own people saying, let's just go after everybody? Or
I think that when you run on something, there's pressure on you to deliver. And when there's pressure on you and you look at the clock and you say, dude, I got one term, I got 4 years.
Right.
At this point, I'm just shooting in the dark. He's using a hammer, you know what I'm saying, to deal with a very intricate, very delicate situation. But he has to because his time is short. But what I would argue is this. As a Latino, what y'all do in Mexico when the immigrants from Colombia and everywhere else try to come up into Mexico?
Oh, yeah, they protested, try to get
Nah, y'all be out there tripping.
Yeah.
But y'all ready to whoop feet.
It depends. Like when it's pretty much what the president of the United States is doing and telling you. So when Biden was in office, he was pretty much saying, let him go. And that's what screwed it up because he brought so much people in that burned the spot for everybody else who was already here. When Trump came into office, he came right away and told her, you better stop.
Yeah.
And then, no, I'm not going to. And then sure enough, she stopped. And now they're pushing their border as well.
So Biden made the spot hot.
Oh, for sure. No,
he blew up the spot.
No, 100%.
Now, here's my question to the Latino population.
Yeah, shoot.
You guys know why in Mexico they tripping when the deep South American people come in their country? You know why. Y'all know, y'all got friends, cousins, aunties, uncles over there tripping on immigration there. When you saw Biden letting all those criminals into America, Why y'all didn't say nothing?
I think
Y'all should have been, but y'all wasn't doing like how y'all do over there.
I think
because that's where the protest should have started.
That's a different world. But you know how I know we did say something. We voted majority for Trump, bro. That was our message right there. Right. Straight up, that was our message saying we don't agree with this over here.
Right.
But I personally believe that Trump is fumbling the football by doing what he's doing because he's gonna make a lot of Latinos go back to that party again, bro. After the 4 years, if he doesn't pull out a nice Hail Mary at the end of his 4 years and says, you know what, I might give you guys a pathway to citizenship. If he pulls out something like that, then people will forget. But I think he's dropping the football because he could have literally got a whole Latino vote because there's a lot of Latinos that. Yeah, they want criminals out of here, bro. They want people, if you've done something wrong, get the hell out of here. But when you start just going and driving up to the taco lady, taking her, it's like, bro, what's going on here? Like, you guys are doing the most.
Hey, maybe the rival taco lady ratted her out.
No, right now at this
the guy
point,
with the restaurant is like, get her out of here.
Do you believe that the protests helped or hindered the cause for Latinos?
It hurt the cause.
Why?
Because they hurt a lot of people who supported them. You're hurting people who hire illegal immigrants. Like when they're trying to bust inside the 7-Eleven.
Yes.
Or destroying those businesses downtown LA. The people who you claim to be defending work at those jobs.
Right.
And when you destroyed that business, now they're out of work. That only increases the chances that they'll get deported. So it's a lot of mindless action. And I know it's being driven and perpetuated by people who don't have like your best interest in mind. What I would say to Latinos before they make any rash decisions concerning Trump over this, look at the women with the abortion issue. They voted for Democrats, right? Over abortion and all these things. The Democrats get in power. They never codify Roe v. Wade. They never do it.
All right.
They've been talking about codifying Roe v. Wade since the 80s. They've never done it. Why? Because they are able to use your problem as a campaign talking point.
Right, for the next one.
And so what do the women do? They keep voting Democrat. Even though they're not getting what they want, they still don't. Who else are we going to vote for? Look at them and see how that has worked. Because if you do that over the immigration issue, here's the thing. Do you want this place to look like South America?
Absolutely not.
Do you want this place to look like Mexico in certain parts? That's exactly what you're going to get. So me personally, if I have to decide between like this black criminal getting out of jail and me having a safe neighborhood, even though there's a chance he might have been wrongfully convicted, what I'll say is do the research, do your due diligence. But if you can't come to a definite conclusion, keep his ass locked up. Because I'm not willing to gamble my family's safety because he might be innocent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
So
you're equal on all sides of that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, so
you gotta keep it equal.
So what? Okay, you're looking from the outside in, right? Let's say on the Latino political stuff that's going on in immigration.
Wait, you know all the King, Dirk, Brick Baby, all that stuff?
Yeah.
They always say free these dudes. I always say only if they're innocent.
That's right.
If those do Brick Baby, Big U, whatever, if they did it, keep their ass forever. I ain't gonna say free nobody. If you're a criminal, keep your ass in jail. You know what you did.
When I hear freedom, you know what I say? I said, why don't you send them $20 instead of just saying freedom, bro?
Right, exactly.
Everybody's talking about freedom, but everybody's sending them $5
just
anyway.
saying stuff so you could look good. Like you look silly.
They think it sounds gangster, bro.
If you're yelling to free criminals back into your community, violent extortionists, allegedly, you're just an idiot.
But that's the platform you just come from, bro. You're coming from that platform, bro.
They platform me saying exactly what I just said. So Adam is like, look, he got an opinion. If he's willing to risk life and limb, he's welcome.
That's the Grand Dragon for
the Grand Dragon.
That's the Grand Dragon.
Grand Mason.
So what would be some advice do you think that would help the cause in maybe slowing down or stopping this administration from going after people who are just at the car wash, who are just, complete collateral damage?
Yeah, midterm elections. You're going to have your midterm elections coming up here in 2026.
Right.
Get your ass out there. Because I believe that a lot of people who participate in the nonsense are apolitical. They don't contribute. They don't participate in the political process.
Yes.
Those are always the most whiny, complaining people. especially in my community. If you're not getting out there to vote to choose leadership, it's not a whole lot you can say.
For sure. No, I have a lot of people on my IG was talking all kind of crap. And the first thing I said, listen, before we have this conversation, who'd you vote for?
That's what I always ask.
And 9 out of 10, yeah.
It don't matter.
Yeah.
Clearly it does.
This is a huge lesson, especially for the Latino community, bro. Voting counts, bro. Whether you like it or not, voting counts. But it's also, history of parties also counts. And I think we haven't been paying attention. The brothers also haven't been paying attention for all these years, bro. You guys vote Democrat. Doesn't matter what it is. You guys vote Democrat.
We trying. We working on them. God is still working with us. You know the frustration I feel with that.
Yeah, it seems like the Dems can do no wrong, bro. Or is it just is it a lack of message, lack of what, that people just keep voting, especially in the black community?
They promise people free shit. Like, when you promise people free stuff, everyone loves you, especially if that free stuff comes at the expense of someone else, right?
For sure.
So me, I'm just like, do you want to work for what you want? Because we work. We know that nothing is sweeter than the fruit of your own labor.
That's right.
And nothing is more reliable than your own labor and the fruit thereof. These people are like, you want to live on food stamps forever? You want to be living in a Section 8 hellhole for the rest of your life? And some people are like, yeah, it doesn't sound too bad.
For sure.
So you're fighting against free. And it's hard to win that fight.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And when you start taking away the stuff from them, then people start hating that party as well.
Which is what Trump is doing. Trump is making it all bad for Republicans. But it's okay.
Yeah. So talking about Trump and that, what do you think right now about what's going on in the last 48 hours between Iran and Israel? For some of you guys in the comment section that may not be following this, Israel called it a preemptive strike, hit Iran, killed like 3 other top generals, killed some scientists, and Iran fired back. But this time Iran actually hit them. A lot of time Iran just does a show, throw some missiles out there, hits the desert. But this time they actually hit the building that's equivalent to our Pentagon. So this has gotten real. What do you think about that?
I think you said last 48 hours. They've been fighting for 2,000 years over there.
Yeah, for sure.
This is just the latest event. But yeah, I just think Iran doesn't have a win in this. They're gonna lose. Just now on the news, Iran is already like trying to come back to the table to negotiate, because the reality is they've been under heavy sanctions. When you're under heavy sanctions, you really don't have the ability to manufacture or purchase what's needed for prolonged war. These countries are built for defense, not offense, right? I should say defense. Defense, not offense. They can defend decently, but when it's time for them to strike back, they have a hard time. Iran's been saying that they were going to launch more missiles for like 18 hours now. They said, we're going to come, missile strike coming. They haven't done it yet. Why? Because they probably don't have much left. Right. So they're begging to get back to the table. I think Trump is kind of spanking them right now, just like, I'm going to let him like get hit a little bit more. The United States and Israel are built to do war for 100 years if they need to. They've made sure, like, our budget is 20 times anybody's. Right. That's so that we can maintain a constant state of war. We're a military industrial society. So we constantly have aircraft carriers. Trump is sending the Nimitz over there.
There's a bunch of carriers over there.
Man, he's sending, bro. Iran was talking tough, and I think they know they don't have what it takes to back it up, but they got to save face.
But it reminds me of Iraq. It reminds me of Iraq and saying, "Oh, Iraq has these weapons of mass destruction. They have this. They have that."
That was a lie, by the way.
Yeah, of course it was a lie. And Israel has been saying for the last 30 years that, oh, Iran's going to get the bomb in 5 days. Oh, Iran's going to get the bomb in 2 weeks. Oh, Iran's going to get the bomb in 2 years. Oh, Iran. It's been 30-something years. Obviously, Iran doesn't have the bomb.
Yeah, but Iran is, the thing is, they don't want them to become capable of making a bomb. So Israel has been saying, hey, they're reaching like the levels of enrichment that will make it possible for them to have a nuclear weapon, right? Obviously, it's some crime wolf there, right? Of course. They have beef, longstanding beef. But at the end of the day, if you come out talking tough all the time, the Ayatollahs and all that, what do you expect?
Yeah, but you have to, because that way you keep the wolves at bay. That's exactly what Saddam Hussein used to say. He used to say all this because he doesn't want them to come in.
Until the wolves decide to come in anyway, and then you didn't have nothing to...
Now, did that make Iraq a safer place by taking Hussein out?
No, it made it a worse place.
It made it a worse place.
Yeah, but Saddam was not a radical Islamist.
No, I know, but that's a
The
problem.
Ayatollah's literally like,
But they said about anybody who comes in, they say regime change. And what regime change means to Israel and the United States, it means somebody we can control.
right, but United States is hesitant to do a regime change in Iran. They don't want regime change. Israel does, but United States doesn't. They're beefing right now.
Yeah, but Israel seems to always like kind of pull the strings with us, bro.
Well, why wouldn't Israel want? Because that would create chaos, by the way. And Israel would love chaos. Why? Because we pay them to put down chaos in the Middle East. That's like, we good for the next 100 years if we do that. But the difference is the Ayatollah is a radical Islamist leader who is worshipped like damn near a god by millions of Arabs. So you can't chop the head off that stake. There's 30,000 radical Islamic clerics in Iran alone.
Right.
So as soon as he is deleted, man, you got a jihad
Now,
like you never saw.
Do you think Israel's word is good when it comes to, you know, when they attack people and do what they do?
You want the honest answer?
Of course.
Hell no.
Okay.
I don't believe. No. Look, I'm not trying to get nobody channel banned, but you already know what the deal is.
Well,
with
that's the crazy part. Tell me who you can't criticize. I tell you who rolls you, bro.
Exactly. But at the end of, I don't think that Israel controls the United States as much as like people think. I think that Israel is a necessary watchdog in the Middle East. Like, if you got someone who does your bidding, right? It's like your wife. Your wife can't like do anything to you, but she does have a little control over you because you don't want to make her upset because she makes things easier for you.
Well, she can poison you. She can cut it off. She can do a lot of stuff to you, bro.
But what I'm saying is like, you could push back on this, but you're just like, I'll let her do it.
The thing that shows me how much strength they have, just right now, they're going through the mayoral candidate in New York. And every single candidate was asked, are you going to visit Israel? And they all had to like push to be the most pro. And I'm like, you're running for mayor of New York, bro. What
does that have to do with Israel?
Yeah.
But they want the money from the Jewish community in New York.
What we're talking about.
That's all it's about, money. So Jewish people, they do have the money. No one can argue that. But if it comes down to the United States having to like put belt to ass, they're not going to be like,
do you think it would be a good idea for us to go in and put troops on the ground if Israel goes to war with Iran?
Hell no.
But we would have to.
Why? You don't have to.
I guarantee you, if Israel goes to war in there, we would have to have troops on the ground.
Remember the 7 day, was it a 7 days war?
7 or 10, yeah.
Or 13 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Man, Israel's just fine. Those Muslim countries around Israel don't want no smoke, bro.
They don't. It seems like Israel wants smoke with everybody, bro.
Because Israel wants to solidify their control as bully of the region. But the other Middle Eastern countries, they're trying to move towards normalcy.
Right.
They want to be modern. They tired of living in that damn desert like that. Like when you go to Abu Dhabi, Dubai, you're like, this is it. Like, this is nice. Well, they're looking at that, and the people in their region are starting to look at that and say, why can't we have that? So I think the radicalism is on the downturn. ISIS and all these groups, they're finding it hard to recruit.
Right.
But I believe it's like the Klan. As your numbers are diminished or depleted, you get more, fervent.
Right,
you get more like radical.
Right.
So I think the radicalism is going to be gone eventually because everybody wants to be on the internet.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be gone anytime soon. Especially with what's going on in Gaza. They've leveled that place, and that just gave them more fuel to see.
Yeah, but at the same time, the Islamic countries around Gaza don't even want the Palestinians allowed. They don't want to bring them in.
Well, I don't think they want to let them in because that's what Israel wants. Israel wants to have a gate open, let them all out so they can say, hey, nobody's here anymore. This is our land. Because that's what they want. They want to, even Trump was saying, I could make some beautiful places over here.
Hey, when that beachfront property comes, I'm going to be right over there hanging out. And I think Trump has the best idea because what have they been doing with it all these years?
Right.
Like, bro, Gaza Strip was not like a crappy place. It was nice. They had skyscrapers, apartments, all that. When the people of a place are so beholden or in fear of a radical group that they allow them to do something as nonsensical as October 7th, the people are no longer in control.
You don't think it was an overreaction of how much they bombed Gaza and destroyed it?
No, I don't think it was overreaction because I think when you're dealing with terrorist groups, it's like a zero-sum game. Like,
you think all of Gaza's millions of people are terrorists?
I don't even think 10% of them are terrorists.
Yeah,
but what I think is they are terrorist sympathizers.
But 100% of their people are suffering for it.
100%, but also 100% of their people are not doing enough to expose Hezbollah. Also,
Yeah.
they had an election, and they had the choice whether they were going to choose rational, logical, legitimate leadership, or if they were going to continue to be ruled over by Hezbollah. And I don't know if the election was rigged or what, but they overwhelmingly chose Hezbollah.
Was it Hezbollah or Hamas?
I mean Hamas.
Hamas.
Sorry, Hamas.
But
Hezbollah's in Lebanon.
yeah. But Hamas was created by the Israeli government, bro.
I believe Israeli government has funded, they've given money to Hamas, but I'm not going to say they didn't create it. But what I'm going to say is, listen, you know who your enemies are? You know how they play.
They created Hamas to get rid of was it Arafat? What's his name again?
Arafat,
Yasser Arafat, because he was their main leader. They created these guys to get rid of this guy. So in other words, regime change. That seems like that's always the same thing with Israel and America. Regime change. And to me, it kind of does remind me of the old colonial days. It's like, is that what it is? You think?
That's exactly what it is. We all know what it is. My thing is like this, man. It's a dirty game. Y'all playing prison rules at this point. You're not gonna find sympathy from me because it's like this. Ain't nobody coming up in my house and pushing me into the corner and I'm still living. Either you gonna go and fight to the last man to earn your respect, or you gonna be in a situation you're in right now. Like, you cannot let that happen. And the people who are leaders of Palestine, which it was never called that, really, they didn't do what they had to do all those years back.
You think it's ironic, though, that...
Too little, too late. That's what I should say.
You think it's ironic that Israel, they got their land back after World War II because that was their original...
Was that ever their land? Come on.
No, I'm not saying that. Wait.
Okay.
I'm saying they got their land back or whatnot, right?
Right.
The Israelis, because they say that was their land. Well, couldn't the same thing be said for Native Americans? For some of these Mexicans, they're saying, this is our land, this is this, you know, we're so concerned about them getting their land back, but out here in America, it's like, oh, no, that was years ago. You got conquered.
Hey, nobody's getting any land back. Let's first and foremost. No, the Mexican people can't say that, really. The Native Americans were killing each other over land.
Yeah, well, they got their land stolen.
They were killing each other over land for hundreds of years before they ever saw white men. When all of a sudden, when the white man comes and you come up against a superior force who you can't beat,
right? Now
everything becomes metaphysical. Oh, the Great Spirit wants you. Get the hell out of here. You guys were hitting each other over the head with all types of tomahawks.
Where's the mercy?
Now they want the mercy, right? When you can't win. So I say, hell no. Like, you guys got conquered. You were a group of people who very much understood the concept of conquering, defeat, and loss, all that. With the Mexicans, Mexico only held this land for 25 years.
Like 50 years or something.
For 50, but I think it's 20. I think it's closer to 25, but it's debatable. Dude, you guys were doing the same thing. You guys were exterminating indigenous people in this land, all that. United States came, like I said, once again, superior force, put belt to ass, and then they did you like a little bit of mercy. They said, we'll give you some money for it. Here's $25 million. You took the money.
They did a Suge Knight, bro. They said, they flipped them over and said, "You're gonna sign this contract, or you're getting off the right."
Perfect example.
Yeah, they did.
Perfect comparison. But once you took the money, you gave up claim to the land.
Yeah, no. To me, I just put an example. I'm not one of those people that say, you know, it is what it is, bro. But to me, it's like the rules have already been written, and unfortunately, I think both. Especially the Latino community, more than the black community. The black community has gotten much more savvy in politics, bro. Even though the vast majority has it, there is a lot more, right? In the Latino community, nah, bro. Like I try to tell these guys, you guys are still playing checkers. They're playing world chess, bro.
No, yeah. 5D chess, man.
Right?
Right. So the whole thing is like, I'm going to be honest. I want to ask you a real question.
Yeah, let's do it.
Mexico.
Yes.
All this, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, California. Do you really think they would have did better with it than the United States?
Absolutely not. If California was Mexico, we'd be trying to go to Utah.
Right.
We'd be trying to go to America.
Let's get the hell out of California with the beaches.
No, these are facts, bro. Like a lot of, I work with Mexican nationals, bro. Real Mexicans. You know, the respect to the youngsters who think they're Mexicans, they're Mexican American, they're Chicano, right? Right. The Mexicans will sit there and say, these guys have no clue. They are not, they're gringos, they're pochos, and that's not a disrespect to them, but those guys that come from down there, they come here and they know what it is to struggle down there, bro. So they come here like, no, hell no, bro. I love this country. This country's giving me the opportunity to feed my family, to do all this. unfortunately, it's like I always put this scenario. It's like the spoiled kid in Beverly Hills talking to his parents. You don't know my problem. Like,
Right.
You live in America, bro. You got an iPhone. You got some Jordans on. You got some 501s. I got a guy today talking some stuff to me about stolen land. I said, fool, change the emoji on your Instagram. It's baseball. That's an American sport. Like, or I always laugh when the Dodger guys are talking shit to me.
That's empowered many Latinos.
Of course,
them
bro.
to wealth.
No, of course. Anybody who's came from the other countries and came here and remembers, do they know what a great opportunity we have over here, especially the older people. The young kids don't know it, so they believe that they're doing right by saying, oh, you know, this and that. But the whole optics just doesn't look right, bro.
It doesn't look good. And that's part of the problem, right? Like, they're so sensitive, and this is black people especially. You're calling yourself a leader, but then you go lead a protest and you can't even keep it under control. It immediately gets turned into a riot because people who actually are willing to take it there come, push you out the way, do crime, and then let you leave you holding the bag.
But it was much less than BLM, bro.
Oh, way less. BLM is a terrorist group. I'm telling you straight up.
BLM was 10 riot. We were like 1.5, maybe 2.
Oh, nowhere on that. I mean, to me, BLM was a full-fledged paramilitary group along with Antifa. But they were trying to hurt people.
But boy, did they get some numbers.
Man, black people. We run the culture.
Because you guys have so much influence, bro.
We got so much influence. Listen, we do Victim Olympics better than anybody. We be out there dancing and shit.
Hey, Chris, give me a shots fired right now, Chris. We got a super chat. See Local Media, $2 super chat. Said Brandon talks down the Latinos for clout. Full. Give you a thumbs down, Brandon. What do you say to that, brother?
Nah, the reality is, existing in an echo chamber gains you more clout than anything.
Okay.
Right? If I was like Latinos and we got to support, you know who was chasing clout? Those dudes from Fig Community. All those dudes down there at those riots probably couldn't even tell you what it was about. Or
I don't agree with that. I think those guys
were all trying to get their numbers up. You have failed rappers and everything.
Those guys went out there and their co-host is Duno, which they've been doing it for years.
Okay.
They've been like, they came off of No Jumper with Duno. They've been doing their whole thing.
Right.
And I think they just went out there to say, we support Latinos. That's all it was, to support the raza as far as not being able to take, and everybody sees it. It's an ICE thing against ICE going and picking up innocent people. I think that's all it is. I don't think it was more than that. And also what I give them as well, I don't think they were out there with their phones doing all this. People took pictures of them, bro. When you see the guys out there, I would say your boys from the viral podcast are more of the cloud chasers, trying to talk crap about Latinos, trying to talk about this. In other words, because to me, I get this all the time: stay out of black business. Yeah, it's American.
I don't think Viral Way are clout chasers. There can be no Long Beach slander on any of these podcasts, because I think that they just speak based on their reality in Long Beach. I'm from Long Beach as well.
Right.
We're from the same exact place. And what they say, there's a lot of legitimacy to what they say.
As far as like racism between browns and black?
Not even the racism, just the fact that when it's convenient, people want to do black and brown, but when you're inside of the county jail or you're trying to get a job, it becomes us versus them.
Well, first of all, the jail thing, that's jail, homie. And you even said it yourself. These guys are playing prison politics. They're playing world stuff. This immigration thing has zero to do with the joint, zero to do with gangs. It has to do with people. Why not?
Because with people in jail putting green lights on people in the streets. When I was young and whoever runs the jails was like, we're putting a hit on the blacks. Like, that was a real thing.
Yeah. How many years ago was that? Should we just stay stuck on that? Should we go back to the victim mentality? Because now it seems like you got the victim mentality. That was over 30 years ago.
What I'm saying is you cannot just omit that from the record, even though I live in a white neighborhood, okay?
Why is that, my brother?
I don't got to deal with that crap because I'm smart. But what I'm telling you is I cannot dismiss the sentiments of people who actually live by. My friend Norman, when I was 20 years old, 22 years old, they put a green light out, and that wasn't 30 years ago. He got stabbed in the park with a screwdriver by some, Southsiders. And it was like the day after they did the green light thing, right? Bro wasn't even a gang member, but orders must be followed, right? So what I'm saying, and I'm not trying to,
but it goes on both sides, Brandon.
100%. But I never heard blacks putting green lights
because
unanimously on Hispanics.
This is the lack of structure in the black community. If the blacks, straight up, if the blacks had the structure that we had, bro, you guys would take over. But you guys don't have that structure.
We don't have that structure.
So it's not our fault that you don't have that structure, because you guys that go in the county jail start beating everybody up. Like, in other words, in your guys' world, the bigger guy wins, bro. In our world, no, it's the guy who's smarter, the guy who's thinking. But that's how you win wars. You don't win wars with just the might, bro. Yeah, strategically.
I mean, black people are pretty like athletic and shit.
There's no black people. Black people, yeah. Compared to essays, that's why you don't see that many essays playing NFL football, because we're just not built that way. But we're built with brains, we're built with heart, and we fight in a different way.
And you guys have a collective, like you guys have a lot of unified, like.
Well, sometimes not even unified. Sometimes you better do this, or you got this coming.
If you don't do it, something's gonna happen.
This is politics,
and I'm not dismissing that is true. That is facts. I'm just saying we got to work with the reality of the cards that we're given.
Let me give you another reality that you may not see. Okay. I understand what you're saying about, especially like in the Long Beach area and all that stuff. What you don't understand, and some of those guys may not understand, is this. When we first started migrating here in the, let's say, early to mid 80s, right? Compton, Watts, all that area was majority black.
Right.
What do you think was happening to the paisas, which was our fathers, on Fridays after he got paid, because a lot of the brothers knew he got cash?
Getting robbed.
For sure. Homie. Getting robbed.
Hanging out at the pasta bar robbing.
What do you think was happening in the county jails when the county jails were mostly African Americans? You guys were the fucking big dogs, bro.
Right.
So you guys were pressing up on us. And then eventually it was like where the numbers started, switching. And the tables turned. And then all of a sudden it turned, instead of it's equal pay, oh, these guys are racist. Nah, fool, we gang. At this point, we gang banging. Now we gang banging. And it turned into, to me, it seems like you have, and this is on both sides now, even on the essay side, you have woke gang members, bro. Right. Straight up. We out here literally killing one another. Like, fuck you, I'm gonna kill you. When I say that, I'm not playing, bro. I'm gonna kill you. But then, but he called me the ER word before. We killing each other. You calling me a wetback. We killing each other, bro.
I deal with them every day on No Jumper.
That's what I'm saying.
Members.
So to me, it makes no sense, because at the end of the day, brown kill brown much more, black kill black much more. Yeah. But you will not hear anybody make a peep about that. It's almost like when you see black cops beating the shit out of a black guy, nobody said anything.
Well, the thing, Gil, is I understand you 100%. We're here because a bunch of Hispanic people overreacted to things I said that were not even directed at race.
Right.
Right. But I agree with you on everything you just said. The thing is, someone's going to have to be the bigger person.
Well, to me, I bring you over here, bro.
Yeah. Exactly.
I have no problem with even those other guys talking about them. To me, it's educating them not to think that, these guys are just racist. No, bro. This is something that, just like how we're right now in this situation with immigration.
Right.
It's been 30, 40 years in the making.
Right.
This has been longer. This has been since the 80s, bro, in the making. But now, if you go to the county jails, it's not that racist anymore, bro.
Nah.
It's changed. So
people are trying to get to.
Yeah. It's like some people want to still live on that past and say, well, if that's the case, like one of my co-hosts, he's from an enemy hood, bro. So I shouldn't mess. No, I bring guys in here for all kind of different hoods. It's to me like, no, at some point we have to grow up and say, all right, bro, are we gonna keep fighting, or are we gonna try to move on and make peace? Not so much we're all kumbaya, but we can understand each other and understand that, you know what, we're both just wanting the same thing as you, a nice place to live, safe place to live, or at least most of us, bro. Some people still want to thug it out.
People. Yeah. normal people just want to have a safe place. And the thing is, when you go to the more affluent communities, right, you see people together. They don't care about like the race. Like I work in Orange County, deep in South County, Rancho Santa Margarita. People don't give it. I never got pulled over by the cops. None of that. They're literally like, you want a beer? You want, like, they're just trying to see if you are about what they're about.
Right.
If you're about raising your family, if you're about, I had to house sit for somebody way deep in Orange County. Those people never like called the cops or some black guys out there and they're white. They were just like, oh, hey, what's up? How you doing? Da-da-da. My name is this. If you need anything, this type of thing. We're just going to have to grow up. I think the blacks and the Latinos as cultures, we've operated a lot just being like kind of like the babies of society.
Right.
Because we could blame everything on white people. Now, as we become like, Latinos are going towards the majority, black people, we're growing as a group and we have more ability and autonomy. We're going to have to just start growing up. Stop
for sure.
Just retreating back to victimhood all
You
the
guys
time.
definitely have much more political power than us, even in California, bro.
For now.
Yeah, maybe, but it depends because you guys have something that we don't. You guys can come together anytime something happens. Let's say if that was happening to the black community, bro, where you're seeing one of these ICE guys, forget about it, bro. You guys will burn that. You guys will start destroying these cars. You guys will do much more than us, bro.
You guys destroy some cars.
No, but I'm talking about
destroy the cars with no driver.
I'm talking about you guys will destroy the feds' cars, bro.
We didn't destroy any driverless cars.
No.
You guys got the
Hey, that's a first.
I was so sad. I said
That's
they're
a first.
destroying
That's a first. But you guys definitely have much more. Like California. Look at California's makeup. We are like 45 to 50% of the population. We should have a governor that's Latino, or at least running up. We should have somebody who may be mayor of that's Latino. We should have a lot more people in power that are Latino. But with us, it's hard for us to come together because we're always like, oh, this guy's this. We always find a certain reason not to like him. With you guys have nowhere else to run. With us, it's like, oh, Mexico's right there. Central America's right here.
Right.
You guys all originally came from Africa, even though some of you guys say you guys are the original people here.
Crazy.
Hey, but there's a lot of people who believe that, bro.
Tariq didn't graduate from high school.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Hey, but he's a snake salesman, bro.
Snake oil boy.
Snake oil.
He's a snake oil salesman with a limp. Don't listen to him.
Hey, but what was his book? He used to have the booty smacking books back in the day.
Oh, dang. The Mackin' the art of Mackin'.
The art of Mackin', bro.
Art of smacking.
Hey, he's a macker, bro. He's a macker. See Local Media. You and the viral way got clout of Blue Devil in the Latino community, but you guys say we shouldn't react or speak on black culture or media. So now, let's get that out the way, bro. What started this, quote unquote, but it's just fucking internet beef, bro, between you and Blue Devil from the haters world? What's your gripe with him?
Man, I don't have a gripe with Blue Devil. Is a clout chaser. If I've ever seen one, you mention anything, he will just pick something out.
Tell Alabama to wait. He's already trying to call in.
And then he has like a response to it. And then when you respond back to him, oh, you're chasing the hater world for clout. Listen, Blue Devil, you have a channel with 70,000 subscribers. You can't even get 2,000 people to watch it. No one's chasing you for clout. We're on No Jumper. We're all over the place with relatively small channels. We made a lot of impact in a short time. No one needs to chase you for clout. No one said anything negative. People have their opinion. You have your opinion.
What was the original thing that got it all heated, though?
Dude, I don't even know. Something about like Hispanics in jail or.
Well, you were. I kind of saw his video. He was saying something, and he was telling you don't know shit about certain. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if you remember, but I think you may have been trying to do the jail political thing, like we were saying right now about the prison stuff. That's why it's a whole different world.
Sorry, Blue Devil. I'm not as versed in you on jail prison politics.
That's a good thing, though.
You a working dude. You work. You take care of your family. Stop trying to act like you up in freaking Soledad or some shit.
Well, he's no different than maybe like the academics of the Latino world, bro.
Man, like,
I mean, come on, that's what he's doing.
Yeah, he just needs to, like, first of all, he needs to get ready. If we have this boxing match, he better be ready for that.
You guys gonna do it, bro?
I'm down. But really, Blue Devil he knows how to get clicks and views. He plays the internet game really well. And
he learned it from your master, bro.
There you go. Ask Master Adam.
Yes, sir.
But literally, you know what it is. This internet is this like whole content game. Do you want to sit down on the couch and have a real conversation man to man? And I really think like a lot of people are intimidated by me and the viral way. I think because we're pretty articulate. And I think they're like, I can't beat them in a war of words, like face to face.
I think that is some of what I think it is. I think they're afraid of the booty shorts, bro.
Those booty shorts, those are the battle shorts. Take it how you want the battle shorts, right? Whatever happens after the battle's over, that's on them. But like, see, you know, like I've had Latino people hit me up in my inbox, like, bro, they can't mess with you on the debate. No, so they got to make it about like something else.
You're a very articulate guy. You know what you're saying.
As are you.
Thank you. With the viral way, I think what they're on the late train. Believe it or not, like all these conversations that they're having right now, we've had already. Like with No Jumper, with AD, with Fake. We've had this whole like, and we finally like figured out. Wait a minute, dude, we're fucking fighting over nothing. We're arguing over nothing. We're all good. And it seems to me, whether they know it or not, they're on the late train of this. This was all these arguments, like that one video they showed of me. That was 5 years ago, bro. Like,
right.
Like, so they're on the late train of that. It's almost like, man, these fools are bringing this shit up again. We already went to this.
They're pretty smart, bro. Like,
No, yeah, I'm not saying they're not.
They're breaking into the space, and like a lot of it is like, we're gonna correct some things. We're gonna correct the record because this was the. I'm just being honest with you, like. And this might be a little bit incendiary, but I just think sometimes, like Fig Community World, they just want to kiss Latino ass so bad for the views, they are afraid to say some things that might ruffle a little feathers. And we're more along the lines like, when I say it with love, so I'm going to say it honestly and openly, and I'm not going to hold anything back. You will never hear me down in, the grandma who's selling I love burrito, I love chilaquila, I love all that, and we pronounce it right, So... that's what we look at. Well, there's so much not being said, it makes the conversation moot. These things aren't said by certain black people because they're like, well, I don't want to say this because like a lot of my audience is Hispanic. It's like, say it. And if your audience truly respects you, they rocking with you.
Yeah, but there's some conversations that you're just trying to incite something. You're trying to gaslight it, bro. And that's what I was saying. Like when they were saying about the gang stuff, bro, that was 30, 40 years ago. And they're still bringing it up. At some point, when do you stop being a woke gangster and just say, you know what? Because that's what it is. You're being a woke gangster. If you're a gangster, you're about it. Then if you feel that, get that strap, get that money, homie.
But there's a lot of woke gangsters out here now.
No,
that's a demographic now.
For sure. But to me, it's like, I'll discuss it, but I'm not gonna sit here and dwell in the past. Because if that was the case, those are all my dead homies over here.
Right.
I'm not going to sit here. Then that means there's a lot of guys I will not invite to this podcast because somehow, some way, their gangs were the ones I'm part of that. But it seems like because we're Latinos, I guarantee you, like right now, a lot of Crips and Bloods mess with each other.
Yeah, of course.
You think they killed each other more than us?
Of course.
But they don't hold that and say, oh, your boy killed my boy back in 94. Oh, you. But with us, it's like, it's just a grudge because of the color.
It's a grudge. Well, listen, I think the majority of our people don't have an issue with each other.
No, that's facts.
I think there are certain people who stoke the flames of this stuff because it makes them relevant. It's like I had Melvin Farmer on a show one day, and he's an 8-tray gangster and all this stuff. And I was like, would you ever just say all gangs need to be gone, right? Like Charleston White.
Right.
No, I'd never say that. And then I followed up the question, being a true journalist. I said, do you cling to the gang stuff because you want to make it better? Or do you cling to it because if it's gone, you are no longer relevant? There's so many people like that.
Right. For sure.
I'm an OG from this place. Well, if we get rid of all the gangs, you're just Johnny.
Yeah, to me, it would be bittersweet. I'm not going to lie.
Bittersweet.
The hoods, but that will tell me that my younger generation of young men are not going to be throwing their lives away for nothing, bro.
Right.
Because that's what we're doing on both sides.
And as you get older, you start being more willing to say, you know what? If I have to lose some of my prestige or my clout for the safety and preservation of my group, the youth in my group, I'm okay with that.
For sure, bro. Especially if you want some real man stuff.
Yeah, because I could be in here 20 cripping it. Hey, I'll fight because back when I was young, these fights wouldn't have had to be arranged.
Right, for sure.
You say something about me, we're going to do this now or today. Now, like a guy literally spit on me on No Jumper. The old me would have I probably would have been trying to kill that dude with a gun. But the new me is like, you got to be the message sometimes. You can't just be talking about something and not like living by it.
What's his beef with you, bro? It just seemed like off the gate, it was just, I don't like you, bro.
He's a product of this nonsense where he's letting what people say in the comments, straight IRL streaming, he's letting what the comments say dictate how he acts. Oh, I ain't trying to look like no punk if I don't do this. And I'm like, dude, you're literally worried about looking like a punk to people you never even met in your life. Just immaturity, man.
Well, a lot of times, and you've been in the game long enough to know that, like right now, people will definitely go like to hate the world. Oh, this was talking shit about you. Then they'll go to your place. Oh, he's talking shit about you. But in reality, no, we're just having a conversation. There was no disrespectful stuff being said. It's just, it's just combo, bro. But people love the drama.
And you should be able to come on a back channel and say, hey, man, just letting you know this, that, or the third. Some people, they are like living this. Like this is their reality, right? And that's what happened with the guy with the spit situation. Right. And it was like, and what did you gain from that? The inability to feed your family.
Yeah.
You got fired and then you went to jail. Like, I'm thinking about all that before I do anything. And it's like, we're in a future where like there's an unprecedented level of competition.
Oh,
right?
yeah, for sure.
The smarter people are going to win that battle. The people who can control their emotions are the ones who are going to win that battle. Look, like the Bible says, let the dead bury the dead, because people who can't control themselves, they might as well already be dead.
And that's just in life in general, bro. That's at work when somebody comes at you foul and you're like, wait, I'm going to sock this guy up. No, if I sock this guy up, every other job's going to know, no, this guy can't handle his temper, bro.
Exactly. Right.
Put
or
the phone
can't
number
stop
up their face.
drinking or
Right, for sure.
whatever. Like back in the day, you might be able to show up to drunk to work a couple times and they say, we got nobody else. Like he's the only guy who knows how to like cut tile. Tell him to sober up and come back to work. Now, we're out 2 checks.
Yeah, for sure.
Your ass is out of here.
And then talking about like how the racial thing is between brown and blacks. All my nephews, for the majority part, bro, thank God, no gang members, bro. We broke that cycle, right?
Mine too, thank goodness.
And
they're volleyball players.
it's not even a conversation, bro.
Nope.
Some of them have their friends, Asian, blacks, this, and nobody's like, oh my God, look, he has a black guy as a friend. He has an Asian. Nobody, and they don't see it, which is great.
Back in the day, you have friends of other races, but like when you get home amongst you still shit talk them a little bit.
Of course.
Right? Now, there's none of that. These kids are like, man, why are you bullying that person? Like they are totally bought into that.
Right.
Like I look at them and I just be like, you guys are just soft as hell. But I am not like totally disgusted by it, because I'm like, but you guys also aren't like killing each other in the middle of the street every night, like how people were doing when I was young.
It's a great thing,
It's
bro.
a good exchange. It's a fair exchange.
It's a fair exchange, and I think those are the ones that it's easy to look at the gang aspect of it, and that's always gonna be nasty, bro.
Right.
It's always gonna be. But if you look at the whole majority of it, I think this is by far the least like the most colorblind society we have amongst our youth, where they're not really seeing color as we did as when we were young.
No way.
Because when we were young, that's just what it was, bro.
No, my nephews, all their friends are Hispanic dudes. They play volleyball. They go to the mall, just do whatever they're doing. And when I look at it, I'm just like, I'm happy about it. Because when we were in high school, it was like all the Hispanics especially in Long Beach, all the Hispanics on this side, all the blacks on this side. My friend Chris had a Hispanic girlfriend. Do you know how many fights we got into over just that? Because those guys were like, we're not having it.
Of course.
And it's like, to not have to deal with that anymore. I mean, these kids nowadays can't dress worth a damn like we could dress, right? But they're definitely not over here going at each other over frivolous, stupid stuff like racial stuff.
So what do you say when people say there should be a brown and black coalition?
I say just keep living, and technically there already is a brown and black coalition. It's called America. We all paying these taxes to the white man. So just do like your money doing, because he's taking your money from your individualistic, segregated pocket, and he's using it for the furtherance of everybody in this country. If you think you're better than him, then do what he does.
Yeah, for sure.
If you can't, you're not better.
You guys want to tap in? This is your opportunity. 747-279-8109. 747-279-8109. Occupied Mexicans relate more to Palestinians. I don't know about that,
What
bro.
the heck?
It's a black that never been occupied.
Mexicans relate to Palestinians now.
Yeah, I think those are just some of the. I don't think so, bro. Well, I could see some young ones because they take it and say, you know, like it's like. All right, go ahead. Hotline. Hello, who's this? Where you calling from?
Hey, Gil, what's up, dog? This is me from the barrio, homie.
What's happening from the barrio, carnal?
Hey, I'm just chilling, dog. Hey, now let me stop fucking with you. What's the deal, Gil?
What's up, fool? We got Brandon over here. About to talk to us, man.
Hey, now I just chimed in, man, and I just seen that y'all was talking about how the racial tension between blacks and brown are improving, and that within the next few years we may be in a spot to where we can start a black and brown coalition that's effective at you know, just minimizing some of the tension between us and just forwarding, you know, both races as a whole.
That's right.
And I just wanted to commend y'all on that. You feel what I'm saying? Because like what you brothers were saying back in the days, it was a lot of racial tension between the blacks and the brown. And I feel like we can really improve our race relations and reduce inter-minority racism amongst us as now the veteranos and the OGs, if we start putting our racial differences to the side and showing these kids that the remnants that still exist amongst the minority of both groups, you feel what I'm saying? If we start becoming more proactive in, you know, reducing racial tension and and interacting with each other and having discussions. Like me and you, we were supposed to have a discussion before. Me, you, Skip Townsend, Bozo, and a few more people. This should play upon the Bobby Ye. We was
Oh, what's up, Ye, man?
Oh man, I'm chilling, baby, just chilling.
That's right.
But we really need these type of discussions to be had, because at some point in time, man, we have to come and start talking about the problems that plague our community and why we feel like the Hispanic population don't like us, and why
vice versa.
The Hispanic population, huh?
And vice versa, how we both feel.
Yeah, pretty much, and vice versa, man, because then we can spread awareness and we can start having these conversations and these discussions, and it'd be contagious. A lot of people would be more prone to having conversations and having sit downs and saying, how do we reduce this? How do we move forward? How do we replicate what the Brown Berets and the Black Panthers had going on in the 1960s and make it effective in our communities now, to where we can realistically minimize some of the racial tension? Because I'm not going to be a fool and play like racial tension still doesn't exist in our communities today, because it do. But is it as prevalent as it was in the late 80s, the 90s, and the early 2000s? No, it's not. It started to diminish. But if we want to expedite that process, we got to start having these type of conversations and engagement. But I ain't gonna hold y'all. Shout out to you. Shout out to Brother Brandon.
Thank you.
God bless us all.
That's right. Yeah, man. Hey, hit me up whenever you're in town, brother. You can come in and pull up and we'll have the conversation again.
All right, I got you, big brother. Much love.
That's right, brother.
Y'all.
Peace.
All right.
That's the homie. Yeah, you can find him on YouTube as well, man. Yeah, and this is what it is, bro. And that's why I was telling you that I had at my home Skip Townsend. That's who was at my house when I asked him about that, and I told him, that ain't racist. So I like I said, these conversations is something we've been having for years now, and to me, I just like I look at it and see some stuff. I'm like, damn, we're going backwards. Like even with our own people. Oh, let me warn you about Alabama Mexican hotline. It is the world famous Alabama Mexican. What's up, Bama?
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going, man?
It's going good, Bama. We got Brandon in the building. Defiant Brandon, man. Talk to us.
Hey, what's up, Brandon?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Brandon. Hey, did you know those guys from Fig Community World call you Thunder Thighs?
I mean, I didn't know. I don't watch Big Community World, but
hey, that's gonna be a clip right there, man.
Hey, he didn't bring the shorts today, bro. He didn't bring it good. That means he's not battling me.
No, he got the thunder thighs all day, man, with pants, with slacks, with windbreakers, everything.
That's probably why this fool won all the other jiu-jitsu competitions, bro. He trucked out with them legs.
There you go.
Hey, man, Brandon, you gotta fight Fabricio Verdum or something, man. Ooh. You can't be fighting these little scrubs on the street, man.
He's old. Verdum is old as heck. He ain't fighting nobody.
Hey, Verdum will mop you up. I can set it up if you want, man.
Possibly. I could set it up. I could just go over to King's MMA where he trains at every day and fight with him all day.
No, he's in Brazil now. But
they deported him? Thank God.
Oh, God.
Get him out.
Hey, bro. Hey, look. Let me cook.
I win.
Let me cook.
Let me cook. Hey, I love everybody. Bro. I'm like in the middle. I'm always like in the middle of everything because I don't pick sides. I can hang out with Ann Coulter, and I want Carlton White to be my father if you really want me to keep it real.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, Brandon, what do you think about Becky with the fake hair? What do you think about her, man?
Who?
Becky with the fake hair. I think her name is Christy Noham or something. What do you think about her, bro?
Christy Noham. I think Noham, she's a nice lady. I mean, she just got a job to do and she's doing it. Wasn't she the governor of like Dakota or something?
That's the one we were talking about, Chris. Yeah, go ahead.
You think she's doing a good job?
I mean, yeah. I mean, she's doing what she's told.
So out of everybody, that is like the perfect person to pick.
For
her position.
She's the person who was picked. Everything else is just hypothetical.
But do you think she's like out of everybody that was like, hey, let's pick her right there? You think that's good?
I don't question Trump's decisions.
You got to question him, bro. Come on.
No, I mean like in the sense of like he's always done pretty good at hiring people.
He doesn't question the king.
He's pretty successful. When I get to his level of success, maybe I'll be like, hey, that was a bad pick. But to me, she hasn't done anything that's egregious. I think she's just doing her job, and people are happy with what she's doing.
Hey, Brendan, you want me to tell you what's happening right now in LA?
What's happening?
All right, bro. I'll give you a good example. Have you seen the Titanic?
Yes.
Okay, right now what's happening is that imagine there's a Titanic full of Latin people, and the ship breaks. You know when the ship breaks, where they just start, all the rich people start getting on the little boats, and then you see all the people like falling and dying. That's what's happening. That there's people that in the third decker they're okay, and then there's people like that are just going through some shit right now, bro. That's what's happening right now in LA, and that's the thing, man. It's if those people don't want to go back home, you know why? Because they get like $15 all day or like $10 all day for working. So
Yeah.
and that's what it is. It sucks, bro. And all we can do is pretty much watch because we can't control anything. And it's like it's bad right here to like period. That's why you see a lot of people complaining and burning shit and all that, which is not good. But if it makes you like wonder why, is that's what it is. If you watch the Titanic today, you might get a little idea what's happening right here.
I'll push back a little bit because the Titanic, it's like you're saying the Titanic's sinking and there's another ship that's not sinking, but it's not as nice as the Titanic. So you don't want to go from the sinking Titanic back to that ship. The thing is, Mexicans get to choose leadership in Mexico. That's the difference. If you don't like, you can't just put yourself in, you can't put your head in the sand and say, oh crap, my country went to crap. What happened? So instead of fixing, I'm gonna go to this country that's being run better and go work over there. There's gonna have to be a conversation among Hispanic people where they're gonna say, okay, when do we do what we have to do to make our home look like this place we're running off to? You got the situation in Mexico today or yesterday where the mayor of that town was killed. Gunmen marched in that city building.
They just killed a senator and congressperson over here. They shot, right?
Right. So what I'm saying is it wasn't a group of gunmen who marched into the Capitol and murdered the mayor of the town. This was someone who found that person at home, went inside their house and did that. What is going on to where you got 30 people being assassinated in one presidential election cycle?
Yeah, that's insane.
This stuff it's not okay. And the men and women of Mexico in these different Latin American countries, you guys are going to have to start putting some belt to ass on these criminals.
Don't you think, though, that a lot of it also has to do with failed policies of America? If you've been here for 10, 20 years and they've been giving them hope of giving them a green card or something, and all of a sudden you take them out, I think we lose the humanity of it because it's a lot of times we don't have that much empathy for other races, let alone our own sometimes. Because I think if you guys saw young African Americans getting ran up on by the cops, taken, little kids, moms, you would feel much more empathy. But since it's not, it's almost like
what I would say is this has been happening, and that's another thing I would charge to the Hispanic or Latino population. While the Democrats were promising you all this stuff while deporting you guys in record numbers, no one cared. See what I'm saying?
No, I understand. I completely agree.
It was like, now we care because it's Trump. And I think a lot of the Latinos are only protesting because it's Trump. Because Obama deported more than Trump, George W. Bush deported more than Trump, Bill Clinton deported more than Trump. No protests in the street, none of that. There were some people who were protesting. They were chanting at Obama's speeches and at his rallies. You know what the Hispanic population did? Shut up. We want Obama to win.
You know what? There was, if you look back, there was actually some pretty decent protests during the Obama administration. There was some pretty, but what it is we forget. In America, we are the people that from one year to the next, we forget, bro. And it goes back to the same old playbook.
So a lot of people are feeling like this is not because these people truly care about illegal immigrants. This is because they hate Trump. And that's what you're going to run into when you start talking to like the average conservative person, because they're just going to look at the numbers and men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie.
Do you think also it's because Obama was just such a smooth talker? Because they're doing the same thing if you see it, bro. And Trump he's just Obama will be the kind of guy, hey, listen, man, you're getting evicted. I'm sorry. I'm going to have this outside for you. And Trump's like, get the fuck out of here. You're gone.
Obama, man, listen. Obama, if you really look at
Hey, you still there, Bama?
Yeah, you forgot about me, man.
No, I didn't forget about you. You was just giving an analogy. But the thing is, what I'm saying is, Obama literally was like, y'all out of here. This hurts the community. This hurts the black community. He was like listing all these negatives.
Same thing.
And no one really did anything or not to this level. So I just think that, hey, you got an election coming up in 3 years or so. You got midterms coming up in less than 2 years. Get out there and handle your business.
Yeah, this we can.
Hey,
go ahead, Bama.
hey,
You got 10 seconds.
You gonna take Brandon to get some chili cheese fries after this show, man?
me and Brandon gonna run the fade right now, fool.
I got too many fades to eat chili cheese fries.
Hey, Brandon, if the American Cholo tells you, if you want one bean, you get the whole burrito, that's not a name of a restaurant, man. Keep eating something else.
That means he's getting jumped outside.
No.
Hey, Bama, I appreciate the phone call. You got 10 seconds, fool.
Hey, well, you guys take care, and hopefully all this rioting and all this shit stops so we can continue just being normal, man. This is fucking everything up, and
for sure.
Hopefully all this shit settles down, and you guys take more callers and shit, and peace, man.
Later, man. Thank you. Yeah, Bama's a cool guy, man. He just likes talking shit.
I just think like, yeah, America does a lot of messed up stuff that impacts other countries. You know me, I go to Africa all the time.
Okay. Hotline. Tony.
Yo.
What you got, player? Talk to us.
Nothing. This is a good one. For your guest.
Brandon.
Right? Brandon, what up? Hey, so one thing I realize is that a lot of the problems are fix Mexico and I feel like we're close. We're more joined at the hip than people think, right? So, the cartels bringing fentanyl, right? Well, the Americans send them guns, right? So that's why there's violence down there. Now, why does the fentanyl get sent over here? Well, because we're the biggest consumer base. So, a lot of the problems could get fixed on both sides. I just don't feel like there's any communication. Same thing, like, okay, I was just thinking about that. I was telling Mommy about it. We're probably going to go to war sooner or later. We're going to get Israel's going to pull us in, or Ukraine is already pulling us in, right? The last time we had a big influx of Mexicans that came was when there was a war because they needed labor. It was for the braceros. It was when they needed cheap labor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, which brings me back to this. So let's just use LA as a little microcosm, right? So they're deporting the illegals, right? And I drive through Palisades every day. I'm thinking, who's going to build those houses? You feel what I'm saying? If people aren't going to work for construction, who's going to build those houses? It's a problem that we have. Again, we're joined at the hip. Yeah, illegals, yeah, they don't want them here, whatever. But like, who's gonna build those houses, dog? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are problems that we could work together as a community, but I just feel like there's no communication.
Yeah, but I think, listen, it's a bunch of politicians bumping heads. I believe it should be the governors. Like, the governors shouldn't be in California right now. The governors should be calling up Washington and say, Trump, we need to have a meeting, bro.
Right.
This is out of hand. I'm going to open up the jails for you. I'm going to help you deport the criminals.
Yep.
You got to leave the people who are working and doing this alone, because right now, bro, today, you know what I was doing at work? I was being fucking security. I'm in my truck looking out, waiting to see if ICE is coming at the gate. Our thing we got it locked. We got 20-something guys in there, bro, and everybody's scared. On Friday, we got a phone call. Hey, they might be around the block. Everybody fucking took off, bro.
I waited.
I've never seen it like this. It's crazy.
Dude, you know how I drive? I drive the dump trucks, right?
Yeah.
It takes me 2 hours to get one load. That's insane because they have 3 guys outside because nobody's showing up, right?
That's what.
That's affecting me now. Now again, like, immigration. I was born here. I mean, I know people or whatever, but I really don't have a dog in the race because I can't say I have papers. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like I'm gonna stay. You know what I mean? But now it's really starting to affect me, dog. Like, I'm waiting 2 hours to get a load. Like, that's messing with my money. I could have made more money, if they were there, but they're not because they're in fear, right?
Sure.
So are you concerned because you feel empathy towards these people, or are you concerned because it's hurting your pockets?
Well, a little bit of both. Again, it's a two-sided problem. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, I feel for them because I feel like we shouldn't go after people that work. again, open the jails, get rid of them. They messed up. They're in there already.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You want to talk about saving money? We're paying to feed them. I get that. But those are criminal. I'm talking about the county jail. I'm not talking go to you know what I'm saying? Like, what I'm trying to say is that, you know, regardless of how I feel about immigration, it's going to affect me anyway.
For sure.
Okay, let's say I'm
you got 10 seconds, Tony. You got 10 seconds.
Joe Biden, the food is high. I'm gonna feel it high when no one's taking my food, and I now really got to pay for it because now the shelves are empty. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So no matter which side you are on it, it's gonna affect you regardless. So best of luck to you.
Hey, thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
There was a super chat I think we missed up there. It wasn't too friendly on Brandon's side, but it's still a super chat. We gotta read it. I don't think I'm trying to pick on you, Brandon.
Nah, you're good.
Okay, Brandon, you're an Uncle Tom, just like Three Fingers, bro.
Who's Three Fingers?
Adam's co-host over there, bro. Three Finger Whack, bro.
Oh, he only has 3 fingers?
No, you haven't heard about that one, bro? Oh,
No.
you better Google Jay Diggs, Three Fingers, the song, bro. Oh, you don't know? About a year and a half ago, 2 years, his ex-girlfriend fucking took a picture of him butt naked, and she went and did an interview that he would say, no, put another one, and then put 3 in there, and then go like this.
In his butt? Whoa.
There's a lot of facts you don't know.
I didn't need to know this.
Okay, hotline.
What's up, Gil?
What's going on, caller? Who's this? Where you calling from?
Hey, you got Bucci Bear in the house?
Bucci Bear. What's up, man? What you got? Oh, boy, talk to us.
No. I wanted to ask you a question because I know you guys are talking about a lot of, you know, how you work in the construction sites and,
Yes.
and who's going to take over. I've been hearing a lot about the black community, how Hispanics and these immigrants are taking our jobs, right? Like their jobs, right?
Right.
But you've mentioned many, many times that you're in your job site, like 98% of the people that are there are Hispanic.
Yes.
Why don't you hire black people?
Because they don't come looking for work. We're at, bro. I mean, I've seen them more at some prevailing wage jobs that I've been at, or maybe some union jobs. But the type of work that we're in, I've been in this industry for 26 years. I probably have seen on our job site, as far as African Americans, maybe 4. It's just seriously probably 4.
Yeah.
It's just something that I don't know how many. Okay, let me ask Brandon this: how many concrete carpenters do you know?
I know 3.
Oh.
I know one guy who has a company in Texas. He's a friend of mine. His YouTube channel is Your Tech Homeboy.
Okay.
He has a concrete business. I have another friend, Daniel. He does, would that be called masonry?
Yeah, probably mason block work.
Yeah, that's what he's in, masonry. And then I had an uncle who used to do driveways and stuff.
But you know what? No, I'm lying. There was one company that we would work with all the time, and they were all finishers, and these were all brothers. And they're still around there somewhere, but that was when I was working for another commercial company. They would finish all our decks, and these were all brothers. It was actually kind of cool to see all the brothers out there finishing the concrete. Most of those guys were from like Inglewood and Compton area.
Yeah. So, yeah, the thing is, like you said, prevailing wage.
Yeah.
Black folks want to get paid the prevailing wage. If you try to go a little bit under, which is legal, they'll say, oh, no, I could find something better.
That's all.
So that's preference. That's just preference. I'm not going to argue with anybody for doing what's best in, according to the laws of capitalism.
Yeah, for sure.
You pay people what they're willing to accept. I don't even think there should be a minimum wage. But guess what? They can't. Hey, you get rid of the illegal element, pay gonna go up.
Yeah, but work is gonna stop.
Oh, of course, yeah.
In California, I would say the number of illegals working, not even union, but I would say non-union jobs, has got to be up there in the 60%.
Yeah.
Straight up in the 60%. And they've known this for all these years.
Yeah, of course.
So it's just, the thing is, now the rules are changing. Now they want to get rid of them,
but blame California.
It'll come to a stop.
Blame California because these states are allowing it to get to that point.
Well, I blame both. No, but it's also the same thing in Chicago, and all over the country.
All over.
The thing is, I blame both parties for never passing some type of immigration policy.
And I'm not going to say there shouldn't have.
You got something else, caller?
Or something.
Caller.
Yep.
You got something else?
Oh, I'm still here. I'm listening to you guys. No, nothing else. I was just.
All right, brother. Appreciate the question.
Yeah, the thing is, you got to understand, when you let 20 million illegal aliens into the country unvetted, and people are like, we need to get rid of those people because they seen stuff on the internet or on TV that terrifies them.
Yeah,
people are going to be caught up.
I understand.
But I'm not a guy who's just like, get rid of every illegal because I hate them. I'm not.
Hotline. What's going on, brother? Talk to us. I got to take way. Is all you got? All right, that's all you got. He's out of here. So, do you feel that Latinos come here and take away jobs from African Americans?
I think it has an impact on African American employment, but overwhelmingly, I would not say so. I think there's a little bit of discrimination within certain work jobs.
Hotline.
Yo, what up, AC? Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah. Who's this? Where you calling from?
Yeah, it's Ed calling out of the 5-0, bro. We're Sacramento.
What's going on? So I got to talk to us. We're here with Brandon. You got any questions for us?
Yeah, shout out to the both of you guys. Yeah, I think if I could formulate a question for Brandon, I might shoot him on after I touch on that subject of because obviously more people need to hear this. A lot of these issues are, and we got people that you got to keep repeating it until people look it up. But a lot of these issues were caused by goddamn Biden, bro. Like if he didn't open the borders and let all these people in, those crazy ass thousands and thousands of caravans of people. All these issues wouldn't be happening, because the thing that a lot of people are really upset about, including a lot of conservative Latinos that voted for Trump, is that there's people that are getting that have been here for longer than when Biden was in office, creating these issues like opening these borders. Because like you said, there's a lot of Latinos that got in here just like back in the day, probably in the 90s or whatever, when there was little small groups. Like when it wasn't that impactful,
right?
And then you had movies like Under the Same Moon that kind of touched on subject it's like small groups of people, not thousands and thousands like this dude allowed, which created that storm of getting people deported that have already been here,
sure,
that have kids that have kids that are already adults. So one thing that I thought would be a little bit more fair was focus on these dudes that are coming from these areas these Venezuelan cats, like that TikToker dude that was teaching people how to squat.
From Venezuela.
These are people and whoever came in during the caravan that took advantage, because these aren't your typical immigrants, bro. These are politically savvy dudes that crossed the border that had an agenda, bro, and then they started making TikToks and trying to show other people how to abuse the system.
Right.
If you have a dude, if you move into somebody's house that owns a house, squat at their pad and have a cell phone bill for a couple months, and now in order for them to kick you out, they're gonna have to fight you in court for a year.
Right.
Meanwhile, they already saved up their bed. And
you got a question for Brandon?
Yeah. So I was gonna touch on that. That's why people are mad on both conservative sides. And then this is my lead up to the question, and I'll probably be a couple of seconds before I get to that. So that's obviously, I say all that to say this, that we need more independent leaders that are more centered. We need more. I think right now more than ever we need people that are more center right on the Raza side. That way we have different opinions, like different leaders with different opinions to share that could benefit the community. Because right now we ain't got masa, and that leads to the question that I was going to lead up to Brandon, because eventually I think we might get there as Raza. But I remember back in the day, Brandon.
10 seconds.
Hey, you let Alabama talk for hell days. Come on,
but Alabama's world known.
Yeah, but Brandon. So I don't know if I'm pretty sure you remember this, brother. That back in the day, because I remember I watched a movie that reminded me. Back in the day, there used to be this thing where law-abiding, everyday brothers. They would always say, and it used to come out in the 90s movies too. They would always say, "Oh, we're black, but these are the NIGGAs." And they're making us look bad, and there's a difference between these groups. Do you think that there needs to be more groups like the Fresh and Fits and like the Hodge Twins and all these other conservative black channels that hold up a mirror and then when in regards to behavioral stuff, and then hey, we need to change our image, that way people don't, because people, I mean, you can't change everybody's mind, but holding up a mirror to your own folks and then be like, look, this is what we need to work on. Because obviously last time you did too. But
let him answer the question, my man.
So I think so.
I'm done.
All right, bro. Thank you for the call. Always suck it up.
Yeah. So like, you don't even have to hold a mirror up to black people. Black people know what's right and wrong. Black people know when they're doing something that they shouldn't be doing, like stuff you see on like cruise ships and stuff like that.
You really think so?
I do. The biggest issue in the black community is black people have lost the ability to self-correct, right? Like, you can't whoop your kid's ass anymore. You can't do anything. So you have a bunch of people in our community that walk around like, can't nobody tell me nothing. So they're like, I know what I'm doing is wrong. Like when the fat black lady goes off on the guy who gets her order wrong at McDonald's.
Oh my God, yeah.
Who's gonna do anything to her?
Right. Hotline.
Fucking big dog.
What's going on, homeboy? Talk to us.
Homie. What's up? Hey, what's up, Brandon?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Lush is annoying, dog. You need to smack that fool. This is Big Artie from Santana, my boy.
What's up, Artie, man? Let us know how you really feel.
Hey, Lush looks like that fool from Pajamas. You know that Jewish movie with those kids? You know that little kid on the... Lush look like that little fool, dog. That little fucking ugly ass fucking...
Lush needs to go to rehab, bro.
Mole rat motherfucker. Yeah, that fool needs to go to rehab, come back,
Shout out
and
to
go back
Lush,
again.
man. I love Lush. Get off Lush.
Nah, fool, Lush is the most retarded ass fool ever.
What's going on, though, Artie, man? You got a question or you just getting a bash on Lush?
Nah, homie, Brandon's cool, fool. Yeah, he's just like me, homie. We stand our ground, dog. You know, we fuck with Trump and you know, I say what I gotta say to people, and if they don't like it, hey, homie, it is what it is.
Yes, sir.
Pushing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's just like myself. When people get little snippets of stuff, they automatically, like you were saying, think, oh, this is this whole guy thing. But when you actually get them here and we have the conversation, it's like always, man. There's a lot more stuff we agree on than we disagree, but we also are getting a good insight into both of our cultures.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then watching Brandon, you know, on the No Jumper, I mean, he pretty much has everyone against him. You know what I mean? Because all them dudes out there are weird as shit, and they don't even know their own history.
They're thugging.
You know what I mean? So like, and yeah, you know, and it's cool to have someone like Brandon that's a brother, where people look at him and be like, oh, that fool Democrat off the rip. You know what I mean? But little do they know, this motherfucker's knowledgeable and he paid attention in school and got some type of knowledge and got common sense. And, you know, that's the cool thing about watching him on No Jumper, that he's able to stand his own ground and
that's
be
right.
cool to say what they want to say. But, you know, shout out to the LB, dog. You know what I mean?
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Appreciate that, Artie. Appreciate the phone call, player.
I got one more thing.
All right,
Shoot.
Shoot.
Did you see that thing? Do you watch Chris Cuomo?
Yes.
Chris Cuomo, or is that his name?
Yeah.
Did you see that thing about that protest thing about supposedly it was all some group from China was paying some type of organization protesters to LA.
Oh yeah.
I tried to send the video of American Cholo, but your shit says you can't accept messages over there on Instagram. I tried sending that video.
I don't know. Maybe it got blocked. I don't know. I get all kind of weird shit happening on my Instagram, bro.
No, I feel it. No, you got like 1,000. Well, I mean 1,000. You got like 60, 85,000. You know what I mean? You're famous,
I heard a lot of that stuff, bro. It's all those kind of big, huge protests at the end. They end up getting funded by somebody.
Man, come on.
But they have fucking Craigslist ads, fool.
Yeah, hey, Artie, I appreciate the phone call, player.
Hey,
thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure, fool. Yeah.
We're gonna take one more phone call, and then we're gonna start wrapping it up over here. All right, 747-279-8109. Was it Central Americans or Mexicans that were depleting the system? I think it depends who you ask. If you ask the Mexicans, they'll say the Central Americans. You ask the Central Americans, they're going to say the Venezuelans. If you ask the brothers, what brothers? They'll be, hey, why do you guys have beef with like, or is it just with Nigerians and like real Africans, bro? Because I ran into some, that is one thing that they do a lot of work in the concrete. I got to shout out to all the brothers that be driving the concrete trucks, especially like an Associated, Robertson's. There's a lot of brothers that drive that. I remember I ran into one African guy. You know, they have the accent. These fucking guys, they don't fucking like me. They think I work too hard. Is there a beef between like Africans and African Americans? Hey, give me 1 second, Kimo. Let me get this question answered real quick.
Nah, I think like I have no problem with Africans. Tariq, he started this whole little cult online hating on like black immigrants and stuff. I mean, I think it's great that Nigerians work hard. I think more African Americans need to like marry Nigerians to build some of that work ethic. You know, that's just really a very nuanced thing in our society, but I'm in Africa like damn near half the year. So I love it over there. Tariq just profits off of it. He's a
pimp, bro.
He's a race baiter, and he stokes division, and he makes money.
Yeah. Okay, hey, Kimo, what's going on, man? You're the last call. Let's make it good, brother.
Yepa. What's the deal, Chris Mercacholo? Is this the Vato Brandon?
This is the Vato Brandon.
This is the Vato Brandon that got assaulted on no jumper because you know what I'm saying? He's just too stiff with it. You know what I'm saying?
He's the victim, bro. He's the victim, bro. Hey, because they already saying that he's the one that pushed the sus, you know what I'm saying, to get him out, man. They said he was a plan to get allegedly, bro. Allegedly. Over there, it's like a soap opera, bro. It's like a soap opera, bro.
It was good.
It is. Hey, remember, man, you invited the King of LA, what is it, Smut, to the pod, man.
I had him here, yeah. I call him the King of LA, bro.
Hey, he's right.
Yeah, man. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you already know LA. It ain't LA without Mexicans. You know, without brothers and Mexicans, man.
Hey, true. Facts.
That's right.
Plain and simple. So you know what I mean? But hey, salute Brandon for showing up to American Cholo. Keep on educating. You know what I'm saying? Inspiring. Getting the brown and the black together, man.
Right,
you know what?
Thank
you. It's a sham what everybody else is bringing right now. The indigenous people, which is all of us, we need to get together as a collective, as a consensus. You know, to stay aware of the ongoings instead of being blinded by these riots that are enticing, engaging people to go against the grain.
That's right, Kimo. Hey, man, I appreciate you supporting, homeboy.
Salute, Brandon.
Thank you so much.
Chill. All right.
All right, people. So we appreciate, first of all, man, thank you for coming on and having this conversation. My wife's
Thank you for having me.
My wife's like, don't go there and start shit. I said, nah, dude, you don't know Brandon. Brandon's cool, man.
My wife says the same shit. She don't be fighting nobody. I'm like, man, I ain't fighting nobody.
It's because they care, bro, right? You know what I mean? They care, bro. And that's a great shout out to my wife. Shout out to your wife,
they
brother.
know us from back in the day.
Yeah, exactly, bro. So to me, this was a great conversation, man. Shout out to all the brothers out there watching. Shout out to all the Raza out there, man. We're here to have these conversations as grown ass men, bro. Here we did not agree on everything, but we obviously did not disagree on a lot of things either. So we're almost, we're just here trying to learn from one another. Show them there. Let them know where they can follow you, where your YouTube channel is, the whole shebang.
You can follow me at Defiant Brandon on YouTube. Go over there and subscribe. If you want more of what I'm cooking, you're buying what I'm selling. And then also on Instagram, Defiant Brandon, X, Defiant Brandon on all platforms.
Yeah, you can find him over there with the white mask.
White mask Adam. He's giving out butter biscuits.
Appreciate you guys. We'll see you tomorrow with the boys. Wednesday, what's the word? Shout out to my boy Chris Engineering. And we're out. You guys have a great week. Let's do this.